minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hi, I'm Mark Wade, and you're listening to the Flash Podcast.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Flash Podcast. Your podcast for all things HCW The Flash, starring Grant Gustinez, Barry Allen, aka The Flash. I'm your host, Andy B. As always, and joining me tonight, as always, are Toddy and Breeze. Girls, how are you doing today?
Good. Can't wait to talk about Mr. and Mrs. Flash.
That should have been the title, honestly. That should have been the title, like kind of, Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Oh, yeah, that would have been a good one.
That would have been.
How are you doing today, Toddy?
I am doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm feeling under the weather, so I've been trying not to crash all day long. Didn't succeed. So,
crashing is good sometimes.
That's so Crash.
LOL.
I'm trying not to give it to laugh because normally I wouldn't find it funny, but I actually find it funny because I'm so tired.
Wow, I'm so unfunny that only when Andy is tired am I funny. Ouch.
So Lacy isn't with us tonight. She is I don't know what she's doing tonight. She just wasn't available tonight. I'm sure she said something.
She's praying. She's praying to Jesus.
She's praying to Jesus. But we do have a very special guest with us. We have another lady with gumption tonight. You've heard her before on the podcast. She's amazing. She's funny. She's talented. She is Miss Mae. Mae, welcome back to the Flash Podcast. How you doing today?
Hello. Thank you for having me back. I'm doing all right. It's late here, but it's all good. I'm happy to be here and happy to join you guys, especially on this episode. So I hope you're all doing well.
Well, thank you. Thank you for joining us. How have you been enjoying season 9 so far?
It's been all right. I've lowered my expectations a lot. That's the only way to really kind of enjoy this show because it's just kind of been vibes, and that's fine. So the last 2 episodes have been decent in enjoyability anyway.
Well, that's one person who said something nice about episode 6. Because I have like.
I was talking about episode 7 and 8.
Oh, 7 and 8. Okay.
I was going to say that. Yeah. Don't put words in her mouth.
Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah. It's been.
Sorry, I just saw Craig's comment in the chat.
Oh, is it because of this?
How are you doing, Tatiana?
I am doing great. Can't believe I've been reduced to my ship.
It happens to the best of us.
That was such a again. You've been in front of him in person. I'm jealous, Toddy.
I know, for all those magical 3 minutes.
But you guys were like vibing so hard though that I'm like,
true.
I'm like, are they gonna walk away with? Does he look with Craig? It's a very strong ship.
Thank you, Craig.
But yeah, no, but we're here to talk about the episode 8. And before we do that, the only news we really have is there was this trailer that dropped like hours before this episode aired. We have a little green dude coming back in the 9th episode. We have a flash of kids. We have a Spartan. We have a blood work. That was one. Has everyone here seen the 1 minute trailer for episode 9?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mae, what did you think about the?
I'm not gonna lie, it excited me just a little bit because it actually looked pretty good. I saw someone joke that they left all their spending money, like their budget, on the last like 4 episodes, which I wouldn't be surprised by. But it does look pretty decent, and I'm really excited for Bloodwork because I feel like he was a very strong villain, or maybe Sendio was just a very strong actor. So I'm looking forward to that. And Wally coming back, really excited for his return.
Same. I don't remember if you and I ever talked about Arrow, but like, did you ever have any feelings for Arrow?
I was a big fan in seasons 1 and 2. I feel like I dropped off the show in season 4, but then I came back because of the Lazy with Gumption podcast, so that we could talk about it, and I continued watching it up until the end. It was enjoyable. It wasn't my favorite show of the Arrowverse, but it was pretty decent. And I think they had really good supporting characters as well, especially in the later seasons.
Yeah, fair enough. Toddy, how did you feel about the trailer? If you have seen it,
I feel that it is a trailer that I should have seen, and it sounds awesome.
I know you're always excited for Wally coming back.
Always. I'm even excited for Oliver coming back.
Even Oliver, wow!
I know. I'm very generous in my excitement.
It's a whole new Tatiana. Breeze, how do you feel about the trailer?
Yeah, I thought it looked great. It kind of feels like almost like, wow, the season is finally starting on episode 9. I was also surprised how happy I was to see Oliver. Not that I have strong feelings either way, but I was like, oh, that's cool. And of course, I'm very excited to see Wally back.
I remember. I think you were the one that was like really like not pissed up. You were like very annoyed when Oliver's return was announced. You're like, who asked for this?
I just didn't need it, but I'll accept it.
Yeah, no, yeah, Craig says in the chat he's seen it. Very, very lucky. It's a good episode. The trailer looks. It was kind of crazy. Just like, oh my god, I feel like it's been a long time since we've had like a long like extended trailer for something with the Flash. So no, but it looks like so much fun. I think it's really gonna kick off, these final 5 episodes. Which for people who may not be aware, there's a little hiatus now, but it's only for 2 weeks because the show will be back on Wednesday, April 26th, and then from there we're just going straight into the final 5 episodes of the show before the series finale on May 24th, 2023. So, I don't know. I don't know. I also there's been some interviews here and there. Grant broke the internet by talking about who he would have if he hadn't gone together with Iris, who he would have gone together with, and he says Cisco, and which I'm like, what are the girls?
I haven't actually watched that yet, so I'm gonna sit down and watch the whole video. But I love that for them. So.
But let's get to episode 8. I almost said 9. See, this is how much I really want to get to 9. But episode 8 of season 9, called Partners in Time, and this episode Partners in Crime. Sorry, there should have been Partners in Time.
I get it. Isn't it Partners in Time?
Isn't it?
It is Partners in Time. Right?
I am. Look, oh my god! And I've literally named it Partners in Crime on YouTube. That is so embarrassing. I need to sleep, guys. I have. It's been a long week. Thank you, Chad. Thank you. I am the worst. I apologize. But it was written by Sarah Tarkoff and Joshua Gilbert, and it was written by Ed Fryman. I almost said it sounds like Fryman, like fried, but yeah. So Toddy is going to do the honor, kicking us off with A storyline, aka Toddy Cap.
Oh no, I really don't have a Toddy Cap for this. All I have is, Iris. What I don't even know. It's tax season. People are coming to investigate Star Labs for mold, and then that also means checking the electricity. and finding out what the speed lab is for. And somehow after 9 years, neither Barry nor Iris had a good idea for what the speed lab could be, if not just the home of the Flash. So they are having a terrible time with their inspection, and nothing is being inspected. And the electrician does not know what the breaker box is called, which is not suspicious at all. And then, I don't know, suddenly they go to the next room and it's still a speed lab. And they go to like 10 more rooms and they continue to be speed labs. So people think that a prank is being pulled, but then they realize someone is like stealing something. I don't even remember what. And they are going to investigate by checking people's radiation because someone's a time traveler, I guess. If they're time traveling, then they have radiation. But then when they check old dude's radiation, he disappears. He turns into the statue of David. And then people start disappearing, and they start suspecting the electrician who did not know what a breaker box was, which is very obvious that it was her. And then it's just her. And I don't remember what happens. Somehow she is defeated, or she just agrees to go, and the people come back and we finish the inspection. And in the meantime, Iris has lots of cravings, and she's concerned about the way that her body is changing, and that she won't get to do the things that she used to get to do once she's pregnant, has a baby. But she's not upset about being pregnant. Don't worry. She's just feeling her pregnant feelings. And Barry's like, it's cool. I love you even when you're pregnant, and after you're pregnant, and then when you're pregnant again. And it's going to be the best. And that's all I have. The end. That's what you missed on Please.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you, Mae.
This is what she does every week. She's like, I don't have a toddy cap, and then she.
That was not one. Don't lie to me. That was not a good one.
That was a good one. Wait, everyone in the chat, tell Tatiana how great her toddy cap was. She always makes these episodes so more amusing. So I'm like, but the thing is, like, she's also right. Yes, like Frank said, and that's what you missed on Glee.
Exactly. So what did we feel about the never-ending speed labs?
I think Mae should start. She's our beloved guest.
Exactly.
Oh,
Guests first.
Thank you. I like the idea of them being stuck. I don't know how I felt that it was particularly the speed lab, because I don't think that that's the nicest set that they have in Star Labs. But it was a really fun episode in terms of like what Barry and Iris got to do with each other and with the guest stars, because the mystery itself was kind of like very obvious, but I did enjoy everyone being very suspicious of each other. Like even that one moment where the Tina Fey looking woman was talking about examining. She, like, the whole episode, I was like, oh my god, it's like Tina Fey's doppelganger. It was very disturbing.
Look at her again. I didn't even think about that.
When she was talking about like examining Barry's biometrics or something, Iris gave her that little side eye. It was hilarious. I just think they had a lot of great comedic beats, and it was just like a fun time, even though it was a very thin plot overall. I always love seeing Barry and Iris together as a duo, and I like that it wasn't just like an episode where they were trying to figure out the mystery, but it was also kind of like talking about Iris' feelings about being pregnant and, you know, changing bodies, and Barry being excited to be a dad, but like this idea that they should also stay in the moment and be present and enjoy all the things that are actually happening to them, rather than wishing for something that happened in the past or thinking about the future and all this other stuff. So it's very, it was very nice.
Matt goes British Tina Fey. There you go.
Yes, exactly.
We're just gonna call it British Tina Fey at this point, you know, because I don't remember what her character name was, but like that's so spot on. Also, there you go, Toddy. Sky says she loved her Toddy cap.
Oh, thank you.
10 out of
love
10
your
Toddy
lies.
caps always.
Love the way you lie. .mp3.
Love the way you lie. It's a good song.
It is a good song. So, who else would like to speak in favor or in opposition to?
Yeah, I thought I liked that it was you thought it was just gonna be like a time travel story, and then it kind of turned into a bit of a whodunit, which I think is a fun kind of template for them to use for one of these interludes. I do think the strongest parts were the domestic stuff with Barry and Iris. Love that Iris actually got to talk about her feelings, and like really like a full scene, not just like her saying one thing and then Barry like interrupting her and telling her it's all gonna be okay. She actually really got to get into it, and I think probably very relatable for people who have gone through that experience, which I have not, but I'm going to assume that they did a good job with it. So I thought that was really good. I do think, and I know we got a question in the comment about Lady Kronos, and she is from the comics because I googled her. She's a villain for the Atom, actually, Ryan Choi's Atom, not the Flash. So I thought it was kind of a random pick. They had kind of been using a lot of previous metas this season, so it's interesting that we got someone just kind of out of the blue for this storyline. So that part I thought wasn't the strongest, especially the scenes where they kept going back into the lab. I'm like, we've already done the Groundhog Day thing this season. I really don't want to keep doing this, which they moved away from that eventually. And I do, it was just kind of like a weird story, but it wasn't bad. And I think the domestic aspects of it really saved it for me. And I definitely need a gif of Iris turning her head when Tina Fey is asking to.
Yes, it was perfect.
Research Barry.
Like this, it was like, Candace. What happened?
I was just gonna add, and I love the costumes, especially Barry in the Star Trek uniform on First Contact Day. So.
Oh, and Iris still being confused between like Star Wars and Star Trek. Hilarious.
That seems very Iris-like. She does not have time for that stuff.
I guess I can go next. I will just acknowledge, because I know people are saying in the chat. Listen, I get that interludes are sometimes not the most preferred thing on this show. I totally get it. But with that being said, if we had to do an episode where we had to save a lot of money and do have a ball episode, I'm glad it was this time spent on something like on Candace and Grant, because I feel we haven't. Last week was very Nia and Iris central, which I loved, but not so much Barry. But this week it was very much Barry and Iris together, and like, because the one thing I sometimes feel like the show forgets is that they're not just great scene partners in terms of romance and drama, but like they're really, really funny. Like they're really funny. That's like, I'm like, listen, I wouldn't mind having I wouldn't mind like a rom-com on Netflix or something with them. Like, well, it was Tony, what was that movie finally that you were trying to pitch me like for an interview a few months ago with like those two teenagers? It was like Ever After or something. After,
oh yeah, the worst movie series other than 50 Shades of Grey, correct?
Yeah.
Why would that come to mind?
No. I said instead of them getting a bunch of sequels, can't we just do like a rom-com franchise with Candace and Grant?
Oh, there you go.
See, there was I was building a bridge so I could walk across it to my point.
I see.
Yes, but no, they were so great together, and you know what? Like, yeah, I think it was great to just take a moment just for them to kind of talk about the fact that their lives are about to change forever, and when Candace started, when Iris started kind of going like, I'm always hungry, and I always have pregnancy brain, and it's like, and I was like, oh my god, they're actually letting Iris and Barry be domestic. I love this. It's so cute. And I gotta say though, the inspectors crew, these were fracking amazing guest stars. Like they were all fracking funny. Like British Tina Fey, the oldest inspector, and I do know one of those actors. Apparently, his name is Chris Wood. So that's not confusing at all for Supergirl fans at all. But no, I thought they were so fun. At first, I kind of was like, this is kind of very Legends vibey. But I can actually stand this. Lady Crow, like when she transformed, I'm like, what is this? Who is this? And then I'm hoping maybe someone on Twitter will recognize her, and then right after the commercial break, they're like, "I'm Lady Kronos." I'm like, Googling this now. But it was fun. Like, here's the thing: like, if we have to have fun episodes like this, I will take that over any nonsense like Becky coming back and Cecile and Allegra going out on the field and that kind of nonsense. So no, and also there's as a West Island fan, there's gonna be a lot of scenes from this episode that we can gif, like for real. The Barry in the Star Trek suit was kind of like a little random. I don't know why he just suddenly like came out. Why the timeline made him change that he had that on.
I do because Eric's a nerd. That's why. I say that lovingly, but I'm sure Eric and all the other writers are a bunch of nerds. So.
Probably. Ollie says in the chat, I would love to have a Flash fleet.
Like Starfleet.
Like
but-
Starfleet.
Oh. See, this is how much I know about Star Trek. All I know about Star Trek is that Anson Mount is hot and he's playing some important character. But yeah, no, I thought it was fun, it was cute. And this is probably one of those interviews that I wouldn't mind rewatching if you just cut out like all the other scenes.
It's on Netflix. You could just fast forward through all the.
That's
other
yeah.
scenes.
That is very true. That's very true. Because like during the live watching, I was like, Cecile, shut up. I mean, I know, but no, but it was fun. Like, this is probably one of the better West Island episodes we've had in a while. So, Tali, take it home. What were your feels?
I mean, I don't know that I wouldn't say it's one of the better West Island episodes I've in a while, but I love their banter together. I love that Iris get to talk about her feelings. I loved her look the whole episode. There was just fun moments. It was cute. I thought the plot was very thin and like just not mysterious because it was so obvious as soon as electrician lady walked in that she was clearly whatever was going on. It was her. So I feel like we could have done anything else. Like Electra just said, maybe Barry ended up at a Comic-Con cosplay contest. If they had gone to a Comic-Con cosplay contest and had some kind of loop there, then I would love that. I would love that. Anyway, so I just feel like in general, I'm like, we have 5 episodes left of the series. Why would you do so many interludes in a row and not connect things to a larger picture? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. If you're going to do interludes, then, you should do interludes, spread them out. Don't have like 4 episodes or 3 episodes of interludes. But, oh well, it's too late now. Anyway, had a good time, but like not good enough to forgive the overall structure, I guess.
Tati's here for a good time, but not a good enough time.
Let's see what people in the chat are saying. Sky says, I agree. Both Candace and Grant are funny, so a rom-com would be an amazing product for them. They seem to have so much fun with the episodes of the lighter mood. I'm here for it. Me
yes,
too.
I too am here for it. I would love to see a rom-com for Grant and Candace.
Yeah, like a 9-movie franchise or something like that.
Who do we have to pay to make this happen?
Matt said I didn't need the flashback to her not knowing what a breaker box was.
You know what's funny?
But the flashbacks are so frustrating to me. It's like we flash back to things that happened ages ago. We also flash back to things that happened in the episode. I don't understand why we need so
Do you
many.
remember 2 minutes ago when we and like you know what I always wonder is like when she says like, do you remember when this happened? And then the scene plays, I'm like, are they just staring at each other while the scene is playing for us? Or like what? Because I would always imagine like do some narration at least or voiceover. But it goes like, remember when? Yeah, I do remember that. Like it's ridiculous. Let's see. Craig says, I do feel it's embarrassing to have to do save money episodes in a season with only 13 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I think if it had been me, I would have done probably 12 episodes for this season and made both graphic novels 6 episodes long. Because I think we can all agree that the Red Death story needed at least 1 more episode. And wouldn't mind if the Fine graphic novel also does that, but And then meanwhile, you look at Sumo Low, and they have like all the money in the world to just do whatever they want. I'm just like, I don't even think the Flash had this much money in their season 3. So I like to ask the question: whatever happened to the Arrowverse version of Ryan Choi? Well, he was dead. He was someone who hated love in Armageddon, and then he opened up, and suddenly he loved love again, and then he was Adam, and that was the end. My Nagab goes, at the beginning, I thought they were using the Android Hour Man. Android Hour Man? Is that a thing from the comics?
Maybe. But I think we all understand what an Android Hour Man would be.
I just never
You
heard
just said
of
that so definitively. Like, of course, we would all understand. Like, it's an Android, an Hour Man.
How did you like
And
to
yes,
make me...
I looked it up. Hour Man, parentheses, Android. Hour Man, Matthew Tyler, is a fictional character and superhero who at some point, I guess, was an android because it says android parenthetically in his wiki. So
my Nagab goes, this picture was weird. Like, they were right out of sitcoms. Then they thought they were supposed to be time. Then I thought they were supposed to be Time Masters. Well, I'm pretty sure if Eric had put them in there, then I guess we would have had a segment of Legends fan going like, "Oh my god, you had time for Time Masters and Legends Tomorrow, but you didn't have time to put in Legends Tomorrow characters. Oh my god, why do you hate us?" Iris giving side eye was so funny. Says, guys, I agree. Matt says Iris really said bombastic side eye.
It's a TikTok meme. I say it's the use of the podcast. Just kidding. Andy is younger. I think like a few months younger than me. But
Olive says, did anyone notice that he covered a statue of little David with a leaf? Yeah, because
we can't show that at 8 o'clock on a Tuesday or Wednesday.
Oh yeah, it is on Wednesday. Oh god, I thought today was actually Wednesday. Good lord. John Patrick wonders how many kids does Barry Allen think Iris is going to have in the future. I mean, hopefully he realizes they're only going to have 2. Because I don't know if Iris want to go through this pregnancy again and again. You know, Sci-Fi Gene goes, I think the reason why the future costume had no hood mask because eventually Barry's secret identity will no be secret.
I mean, at this point, he's going pretty.
Really.
Yeah. He was already like, "Hey guys, I'm the Flash." Random time inspectors.
But luckily, they didn't remember at the end. So
wait, weren't they pretending to not remember? They kind of did it with like a wink and a nod. I thought
it did seem like there was a bit of a, but I don't know that it was clear or not. Maybe they just also really love the Flash. So they're like, "Of course you named it the Speed Lab because you love the Flash." That is so cute of you.
Yeah, that's my canon. Matt goes, it was pretty bold to have a Chalegra side story in a West Allen-centric episode. It was like putting Walmart and Chanel right next to each other.
Yes, let's talk about it.
Yeah, so Breeze, your turn.
Yes, well, first of all, I want to say I think they're like at least Target. You guys are so harsh, but
Target, that's okay.
Compared to Chanel, I think it's like a fair difference. But yeah.
Are you saying because there's nothing morally wrong with them and therefore they are not Walmart?
Yes, yes. Wow. They're subpar, but ethically okay. But yeah, so once again, we see Chalegra hanging out because reasons, and they're at Cecile's house because Allegra lives there now, and they're playing. Don't
you dare call it Cecile's house. It's Joe's house, and you know what.
Yes, but he moved away, so
he can have 2 houses.
And they're playing Scrabble and being all cute, and then Chester messes up and accidentally says, "I love you" to Allegra. And Allegra's like, "Oh, I have trauma, I have abandonment issues." So now things are awkward, and they're forced to play a game of Settlers of Catan with Cecile because, of course, she has to be included in this plot line. And then eventually Cecile talks to Allegra because Cecile loves being in everyone's business, and she's like, "It's okay, not everyone's gonna leave you, and if they do, that's okay too." And then Allegra tells Chester that she loves him, and it's all happy ending. And she also brings up Nash at one point, which should not have happened in the year 2023, but here we are. So I will start with our guest Mae to see if she has any feelings about Target Chalegra.
Tarshalegre. No, okay. I don't. That's the thing. I don't really have general feelings about Chalegra other than indifference. I just generally don't like when they are in the B plot because it's very awkward, and I feel the awkwardness, and then I feel like I want to pull Chester specifically out of the awkwardness because it's always awkward for him, and I feel really bad. I don't think that they have any chemistry together, so it's always like strange to watch them in romantic scenarios. And I feel like their relationship was never as well established to justify a subplot in which like I personally care about them saying I love you to each other, because I don't feel like it's been enough time or it's been interesting at all. Like even if they'd had a few episodes where it was more properly built up, I maybe would have been like, oh, that's so cute. But it wasn't. And like to make matters worse, Cecile was in the situation for reasons. And that's like the worst part because this woman is just so nosy and so frustrating that like she's just in the middle of everything. And it's kind of like really, really annoying. And so to like watch her give Allegra advice, but also want to be like giving her motherly advice, but also wanting to be like her bestie is strange to me. And I feel like it's also especially like not great considering like she has a whole daughter in her 20s at some point we've never heard from again since like season 3. Her other daughter is not even in town anymore and she never talks to Iris like this. So it's just like really weird. So I just didn't need the whole plot in general. And just Cecile kind of made it worse. And it just felt like bad filler in a B plot. And I especially get annoyed because like when we have episodes focused on like Cecile, Allegra, or Chester, like West Allen is barely in the episode, but then they get like a whole subplot. So it's just like irritating at this point just because they're supporting characters that are fine when they are being supporting, but when they actually try to give them substantial like subplots, it doesn't work.
Andy,
Yes.
I don't care. I don't care anymore. I'm so tired that Cecile is everywhere. Like, I can never listen to a person say the word feel anymore without laughing in their face, and they're like, why are you laughing at me? I'm like, no, I'm not laughing, but I'm laughing because Cecile has broken me. Okay, I'm gonna be using. I'm not gonna hold back anymore. Cecile is useless. She's pathetic. She looks like a loser every time she inserts herself anywhere. I'm like, go to freaking job, go to your freaking work or something. Go be with your family, Miss. I'm so excited to be in this relationship. Oh my goodness, it's so amazing. I feel like I'm so happy right now. Why is she in every scene? Why is she in every episode?
Oh my.
Oh, the question about Chalegra, sorry. Okay. That's all I felt like. It just existed.
Tatiana?
I was gonna say
He's
that
like, I felt more, okay?
I love it. I love Chester. At this point, it's like I've like fantasized Sue and Chester more together than I do with Chalegra.
Wow.
What?
Sue and Chester. I'm just imagining.
It would be hot.
Oh, okay.
Sue would chew Chester up and spit him out.
She would buy him everything. She will be like oh, you want me to upgrade this for you? You want me to upgrade this for you? It's like
No, he could not handle Sue. I'm sorry.
Oh, I mean, he's more than so than Allegra, and it's like, and also Allegra, you're a managing editor, and you're playing Scrabbles. You're supposed to be at work. I have a headache. I can't with Allegra anymore because it's like the audacity that they made her a managing editor at that young of an age when she went from like an intern to managing editor in like one season. Ridiculous. But the fact that she's never at work, I think the only time we've seen her be at work this season, besides 901, was in episodes. It was in episodes. It wasn't last week's episode, but it was part of a dream sequence where she's smack talking her own boss. So I don't care anymore.
Tatiana, how much do you care or not care?
I will be a bit of a, I don't know, defender or something and say Allegra looked amazing in this episode. She looks so good. Every scene I was like, oh my God, she's so pretty. So that was great.
Toddy,
Yes.
Did you smoke something?
What? Do you not think she looks pretty? Are you going to tell me she did not look pretty?
She is pretty. Like, we can't deny that.
Chester is pretty.
So he can also be pretty. I'm saying that her makeup and her outfit and her hair, it was just, I don't know. They did something right. She looked great this episode. And I definitely finally believed, and she's like, I just love Chester so much. And I'm like, I believe you. I feel like you're acting like someone who loves Chester. Good job. The storyline, the plot was super trite. Like, it's just like what you would always see in any teen drama or whatever. When the person says, I love you for the first time, and the person is scared. But it's like believable and fine until she says that like everyone she loves goes away or dies. And then her examples were like her cousin and Nash. And I was like, okay, first of all, rude to literally everyone else on the show. Do you not love them? And B, are you comparing your love for your cousin and your love for Nash to Chester? Because maybe that's the problem. Maybe you should not have been in love with either your cousin or Nash, because that's really uncomfortable and weird. So I don't know. I thought that was a very stupid. I always think it's dumb when people equate like only romantic love is a thing that you need to be, nervous about or whatever. But at least then it makes sense because you're categorizing them as two different loves. But in this case, she was not. She was talking about all love, but then she has all these other characters that she also loves, presumably. I guess she was just like, you guys are just okay.
She loves.
You're letting me live here, but it's not a big deal.
She loves them as colleagues.
Apparently. She's like, you're just my work friend, Cecile, that I also live with. We have a very business-like relationship. So, I don't know. That was very stupid and weird. I will say...
It was interesting that they didn't use Frost as an example because they supposedly were really good friends.
That's a good point. She only talks about Frost
that's
all
because
the time
we don't care about Frost, clearly. As you know, we do not care that Frost and Caitlin are dead. I would. Thank you, Ollie 10305. You are not wrong. So anyway,
a new ship for Tatiana.
There we go. Telegra. Tati. Tatalegra. Allegra Tati. Okay, anyway.
Maybe Tati can actually teach her some Spanish.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Too much.
Also, Mads just did some calling out. Allegra wanted nothing to do with Nash for the longest time, and she didn't get along with her cousin till she was dying. So, Allegriana, there you go. Thank you. Allegriana, that's the way to go. But no, you're absolutely right. So nothing about the that part of the subplot made sense. It was like a totally fine and normal and boring plot to do, and then it just annoyed me because of that little moment there. Aside from that, I really didn't even have that big of a problem with Cecile in this episode, aside from the general, you're not 22, Cecile. I don't know what you're doing, but that's okay. We move. So that's that on that. I'm glad Chester's happy, and I thought it was very cute when he was like, oh my God, you're just so above me and you're about to dump me. And she's like, no, you're above me. And I don't want you to dump me. And I was like, oh, that's so adorable. So I'm fine with that. But yes, obviously, West Ellen are superior, and you can't compare foie gras with, I don't even know what this would be, the actual snail before you have made it escargot.
Yeah, so I think, as evidenced by my recap, my feelings on Cecile are apparent, and she did not need to be a part of the storyline at all. Like, you know,
or this
Danny,
season.
she could have a day off. That's fine. But I do think Chester and Allegra are cute. Like, I have nothing against their relationship. We don't need to see this much of it. I think Allegra's trauma has been well trodden on this show that we didn't need to have another storyline about it. And I just, as cute as I think they are together, I just will never care about these characters as much as I ever did Cisco and Caitlin, because they're not integral to the story, yet the show keeps trying to make them integral. But they're just not. They're just side characters. They're not even core characters to me. They have no relationship to Barry, really, except for when they're, like, in the lab reading him instructions over the earpiece. It just, like, doesn't work for me. So, yeah, I did not need to have this B plot at all.
We even need to seal this whole season. What has she done? What has she done this season?
Make people uncomfortable.
Oh, you mean you're just continuing her storyline in season 6? Anytime Cecile now talks, this is all I hear now.
Bingle bongle dingle dangle, yickety doo, yickety da, ping pong, lippy tappy too-ta.
Like,
That would be more entertaining.
Yeah, it would.
Cecile needs a Scottish accent, or
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we need to make her interesting.
Let's see what comments are saying. Again, I'm gonna bring this up. Toddy would make out with Allegra. See, sci-fi said, I didn't like the shirt exposed one shoulder. It felt really weird.
Well, it didn't like you.
Don't even remember the shirt.
That'd be nice.
I don't think that that's really offensive. I'm sorry. The shirt actually likes you. It's really hurt now. Its feelings are very, very hurt.
Let's see. Sky goes, right on, Andy. Thank you. Save for the people in the back. Okay. Nobody cares about Allegra or Cecile. We all got that? Let's just insert it. There were people behind me, so I try to be funny, okay? Let's see. Matt, if I had someone around reading my phone, I would be requesting a restraint.
That's the other thing. She is so invasive. Like, who told her it's okay to just read people's emotions without any sort of consent? Like, it's just
When they don't want to talk about it. Yeah.
And then like when I will full frame it when they filmed it on her face, he's like.
I know people listening to the podcast can't see that, but he did a very good read there.
Yeah, this is funny. This is the funniest bit. It said, remember that in last season where she was like, Barry, I can't read people's thoughts without their consent. 2 minutes later, Chester, I can feel like you're feeling something.
I feel like you're feeling something. You're wrong. I have no feelings.
This woman has said so much nonsense in 4 seasons that I'm just like, I can't keep up with it anymore. It's like, it's always something like, I feel this, I feel that. Like, I feel like you need to leave the show.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't always this way, right? Like, Cecile was tolerable back then.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't such a big part of the plots, and she wasn't always in people's business and things like that. She was kind of like in her place, and that was fine. Just leave her there. But I feel like once they upgraded her powers and needing to have her just be around in general, kind of ruined her character.
I don't know who this is, but Craig is saying Cecile needs on school from Deanna Troy on how to respectfully count. Who the
She's
fuck
a
is
Star Trek character who's her alien species is like an empath, can like read emotions. I think I'm explaining that right. So that's another Star Trek reference.
Hi, Julian. Thank you. I appreciate it. Now Craig is shipping Volia Leangra, or whatever you say it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The Flash Podcast first thruple.
Just people being added without their consent.
Here's the thing. Let's bring up what Quick said here. I feel bad because I do like Daphne Nicolette a lot. If that's the thing, I have nothing against this actress. Her character just sucks.
Yeah, her character is very unfortunately, and yeah, like in the early days, Cecile was actually written in a fun way. So I don't know what happened, but Cecile,
now it's like
it's just no good.
But now it's like
I liked her a lot with Joe in season 3. They were great.
Yeah.
I want him to run away with Kramer now.
Oh my
I'm
god, what
sorry,
if
go
he's
ahead,
having
Amy.
an affair with Kramer and she's just there?
That would be
when Cecile's
amazing.
not.
And the biggest revenge plot would be that baby Jenna starts calling Kramer her mama, and she's like, I don't. And then when she sees Cecile, she's like, I don't know this woman.
That
She
would
could
be
be walking.
hilarious.
She could be walking down the street, and I wouldn't know. She could be coming down from the city, and I wouldn't know a thing. Sorry to this woman.
Something like
Um,
that.
Yeah, I'm just. Again, I don't want to be mean to anyone, but it's just like I don't care anymore about like it's like again, she is creepy. She's inserting herself into everything. She never goes to work. She never takes care of her children. Again, it was until again, this is what happens to me. Until May said that she had 2 daughters, I'm like, 2? And then I remember, oh yeah, Joni. I think that was her name. I don't know. I don't care. But I just I'm so. Why can't we have one episode when the side characters are not on? Like, what contracts do these people have? Sorry. Someone make me stop talking. Someone say something.
Let's move on to the best plot of the night. Keon.
Oh, I guess that's me. This will be easy. Daniel Pamberger had like 2 scenes this week. She is Keon is feeling a little uncertain how to deal with Carla, which is the mother of Caitlin Snow, the character who died. That's apparently no one really told her mother that she was dead. So it's an off-screen storyline, and seemingly things went great with Carla and Keon. They had coffee. They're gonna be friends, but it did nothing for this episode. May, you want to try to you want to say something about this, because I have nothing to say about this.
I mean, I agree that it did nothing for the episode. I was kind of surprised just because when they said an old friend was coming back, I was like, Cisco, is that you? It was not Cisco who came back. And I think that continuing to have Carla be off screen, having feelings people say that she is having, is strange, because it's like her daughter's dead, Frost's dead, and now she has to speak with this new woman who is neither, all off screen. So I feel like she has a lot more feelings than we've seen. And I don't even care about Carla like that, but I feel like it's weird to say that she's going to see Carla and then not see Carla. Like, I feel like that could have been a little bit of a more interesting B plot than Chillegra, honestly.
Or we could have given those 2 scenes to Grant and Candace, if we could have had.
Yes, that too. Because at this point, Keon is a relatively new character. At this point, there's like not much we can do with her in general.
I thought you said this. Like at this point, Keon is irrelevant, and I'm like, yes, I agree.
I mean, in general, she's like a whole new character, so it is kind of relevant to introduce someone new in the final season, and then kind of have her not do much other than listen to Mark's grief about Frost for 5-6 episodes. So I feel like my feelings about Keon in general just go back to bad writing and bad decision making in terms of like introducing her to begin with, because it was unnecessary and no one's going to really be invested in her at all because she's new and there's only so many episodes to establish her as a character, so she has no like real friendships with anybody, as much as they're trying to give her that. So I'm very indifferent about Keon, so she doesn't really bother me, but the choice to bring in someone new is bizarre.
It is bizarre. And Matt says, also, why are we seeing that Mark walked out on Keon as if she dumped her and she's heartbroken? Yeah, like, we literally... Oh, this would be one of those times where we should flash back. Remember that time when they were on the porch?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Keon, I have to leave town for a while to make some thinking. You don't love me anymore? No, I just need to leave town for a while. I know that's not what it sounds like at all, but just...
You don't love me anymore. It's also not. He'd be like, I never loved you.
I don't even love myself. I'm just gonna leave town for some reason. And see, that's the thing. We can have an episode without Mark, but for some reason we have to have every episode with Cecile somehow.
Well, okay. Cecile's a more relevant character than Mark. Let's not do Cecile that disservice.
But Mark has abs.
Wow.
I what?
The mediocrity of white man wins again. Shame.
Andy just wants a scene of Mark doing like the salmon ladder from Arrow.
Exactly.
I hadn't even thought about that. I need to. Dear Eric.
Oh my
I think it's too late. They already
Yes, Mads has the right idea. What if we had an
need-
episode without Cecile or Mark? Yes.
Julian goes, Ed is onto something.
Julian, don't feed the bear. What? Don't poke the bear. Don't feed the troll. Don't feed the troll. That's what I meant to say.
Tati, shame on your timeout.
Oh, what is this?
You've been banished to the left corner.
Clearly.
Oh no, that wasn't on purpose. That was because she came. That wasn't on purpose. I know why. I didn't put. You never put Tati in a corner.
Exactly. Nobody puts Tati in a corner. Speaking of, my main issue with the Keon non-storyline this episode is definitely this idea that even Caitlyn's own mother does not give a crap that she is dead and is like, oh, cool. Hey, Keon, I'll help you off screen with no moment to even process what has happened to my child. Like, if anything could turn, like, they finally did it. You know what I mean? Like, now I will defend Caitlyn because this treatment is just too much. This is just so embarrassing. I just don't understand how you can have a character for 8 seasons and then be like, and they are dead now. And not even.
Let's go. Let's go dancing.
Exactly. Let's go dancing. The mom would have joined us, but she was busy on The Young and Restless. So whatever. Yeah. Just displeasing. The end.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if Lacy was here, she would be saying all the same things, by the way, because we did talk to her in our group chat before this episode, and she was also frustrated that Carla just, apparently doesn't care her daughter is dead, and she just has this new not daughter. But it's just, yeah, there's no redeeming the storyline at this point, in my opinion. Even if they were to bring Caitlyn back, it's just a bad storyline. I think Iris said it best when Keon's like, oh, I can tell you're hungry. And she's like, wait, how do you know that? Never mind. Like, never mind is how I feel about Keon. We don't care anymore. We don't care what her powers are or what she is or what the heck. Like, just don't care. Never mind.
Yeah, even when Iris is like, I don't know what it's freaky as it is. So never mind. Yeah, I am. Okay, Craig. Okay, I will. It's not him shirtless. It's actually something I think everyone will appreciate.
Okay.
Craig, that was supposed to be a surprise. Okay, here we go. Because something happened this week, and because I'm petty and I have nothing else to do.
Oh, I love the Barbie posters.
Aww.
Everyone follow my Barbie movie fan account.
That's cute. I support it.
And for people who are listening to this, on the left side of the screen is a Barbie poster. Cisco says, "This Ken is the owner of a berry if he wasn't with Iris." You heard what I said. Snowberries. And then the other one the other picture on the right says, "This Ken is never gonna put on a shirt."
And
Are we going to share these on social media after the episode goes up?
Oh, okay. I will just post them. I'm just gonna post them and then run away because we know which fandom is gonna get triggered. Even though your ship never existed to begin with.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think they exist anymore. It's fine. There's like 3 of them, maybe.
No, there's some people being like, oh my goodness, like this season Barry is totally gonna profess his love for Caitlyn, and the reason he called Keon Caitlyn is because that's how much he misses her.
Is he gonna go to her grave and profess it?
Yeah, exactly. No, see, there's not even a grave. Instead, it was just let's go dance. That is the most hilarious thing about this whole thing is that they vote on who to save, Keon or Taylor or Frost. Then they don't do either, and then they go to a dance club. I'm like, yeah, Maz, you're right. You know who else has abs? Grant Gustin. That is
Because
true.
lightning gave them to him.
But also because Miss May, did you not see 901? That boy has been
No, I've seen.
Chainsaw. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I had to. I don't feel one way or the other about Barbie dolls, John Patrick. They exist.
You
I
will
used to
feel
put-
different when Greta Gerwig's Oscar-winning masterpiece comes out this summer.
Yes. We'll walk to the theater and dressed in pink. I'm ready.
Yeah, Tanya Tyler says, Keon is a waste of time, but I don't dislike her as much as I do Caitlin. But when she goes into her flower child, how do you say this word?
Soliloquy.
Soliloquy, yes.
I want to get Sledgehammer. Oh, wow.
Oh no, oh, that's so sad. She just wants to, be in the sun with the plants and photosynthesize.
And knows when mold isn't around.
Exactly.
Wait, that reminds me. Why didn't they just have Keon do the mold test?
Because they didn't know if she could check for mold, right? Like, they don't really know the extent of how she feels things or something.
I also like that it's implied that they never get it inspected again because Lady Kronos is like, this was the last time the building was ever inspected.
I took that to mean like next year it'll be the Flash Museum, so no one bothered. Even though they should check for mold, even if it's a museum.
Right, because even more people are going to be visiting
Right.
the museum.
Craig wants me to show you guys something, so it will come momentarily. Let's see what. I wonder if the picture dramatician on the magazine was a publicity stuff on the 1990 show.
Oh, that makes sense. If it
Looked a little photoshopped.
Right, well, they probably photoshopped it into the magazine cover.
But I don't remember him ever being dressed as a doctor in the Flash TV show. But that's just me. Let's see what our Chainsaw goes. Keon is God now. The whole thing is just over the top. What are her damn limits? Nothing. There are no limits. Well, here we go. So this one in the middle comes from Craig, but it's pretty funny.
Why do you mean? But it's pretty funny.
Miss Barbie is in Central City ignoring her two daughters.
Yes, correct. We love it.
Thank you, Craig, for giving us that joy.
Craig goes, can they have the seal read Keon's mind to see what her powers are? But remember, she doesn't do it without consent.
Also, Keon doesn't know what her powers are.
It's true. She's just chilling.
Seal's just like, I can sense what your powers are.
Matt goes, Keon's just trying to live her sky-high dreams. Wow, Chainsaw goes, so the Kane is confirmation the show is a joke that led us tomorrow. Oh.
Hey now.
Jordan.
We're not anti-legend. Well, Andy might be a little bit, but we're not anti-legends on this podcast. We love legends.
Time out, Breeze. So no.
You're always shading legends. Let's be real.
I'm shading it because some fans think that they actually deserve to get a wrap up on our show. That's not gonna happen. Flash owes Legends nothing.
That's true, but it was a fun show while it lasted.
It was fun. I mean, I think it got a little too repetitive at some point, but I enjoyed it. I do generally like it.
So does the Flash.
Yeah.
So you know what? So does any show that goes past 5 seasons of anything.
That's very true.
Yes.
But the shows that we should have had at this point is Black Lightning for another season, Batwoman for another season, and Green and the Canaries. I had to think, like, mind the guy goes, past season 3, let us deserve the shade. Your words, not mine. Here's the thing: we do not disrespect, because in season 3 is when we get the great Tala Ash as Zare. So, and she's she was one of the few reasons I kept watching the show, but that was it. Craig, it's not okay. Craig, it's not this episode wasn't Groundhog Day. This was, what would this be? Star Trek? I don't even know if Star Trek is something like this.
I actually don't really understand why they kept going into the room, because it did not seem to have any. They just said like the speed. I guess like the things were all messed up from the whatever the heck the Lady Krona stole. I don't remember all the made up jargon, but they just said it was like messed up. They were like in a time.
But was it because
I think they explained it away as that it becomes like a weapons vault that's locked or something. So they're just stuck there. That's how I remember it. But this, I don't know, the exposition on this show has gotten kind of wild, so it doesn't really matter.
But is there anything else you want to say about this episode? Or are we kind of like, I mean, there's all the best West Island scenes in this episode is just so gifable. But just the way that Katniss kept like defending her food, like, like, no, you're not taking mine. Like, it's so relatable. And like at the end with the ice cream, she's like, go get your own. And Bear's like, okay. And then sits down. That was me.
I guess I was surprised to hear she's only 2 months along, because I'm like, that means they're going to have to get us through 7 months if we're going to see baby Nora before the end of this season. So
yeah, I hope there's some sort of time jump. I admit that I would like to see her like visibly pregnant. I don't know that we're gonna get that, but it would be nice if we did at some point.
It would just be weird for her to be pregnant and then she doesn't actually have Nora. I don't know. To me, that's just a weird way to end the show. So I assume they'll do some sort of at least flash forward or something. Indy's turned around. I don't know what we did to displease him.
Or Andy has secrets that he doesn't want to tell us.
Oh, yeah. That's his secret spin.
So where were we?
Okay, so were we like close? Is that why you turned around?
Well, I didn't hear anything.
Okay.
I can only hear like, so like, for example, now.
It's like a magic chair. Okay.
I don't hear anything. Where did everybody go? Where's Mae? Where's Toddy? Where's Lacy? Where's breathe?
Wow. Yet again.
I think he does it on purpose.
You have failed this city.
No. I don't know why I keep saying Jenna. Hi Sasha. I hope you're doing well. John, no, John, you don't need to kiss my butt. No, I would not be a good person to work for the Discovery. This would be me being like, I would be asking every department, why do you hate some of these shows and why do you hate some of these movies? Why are we getting Harry Potter reboot when we could literally do anything else? No, John, don't kiss my butt. You don't have to kiss my butt. I don't know if I can show this comment on screen, but you know what? F it. Savagine goes, I still wish we got a Barry Iris SEX scene. Hope it will be the deleted scene on the Blu-ray.
LOL.
It won't.
Why would it be a deleted scene? They just filmed that scene and they're like, nah, we're going to put it on the Blu-ray.
Right.
Sorry, but
I think like with this show, they never even thought about filming that scene. So,
let's see what else are people saying. Savage says the original Flash was assigned instead of a CSI investigator, so it would make total sense for John with the ship to have a lab coat. Okay, that's true. Craig, wow. Did y'all hear that Smart is getting a season 8 on HBO Max, but now it will start to Steele as their new leader?
I feel there's been a change in the timeline.
But let's do some listener feedback and get go. But first, May, do you want to stick for the feedback, or do you wanna run away from the pain, as Toddy usually says? That is something that she says.
I will. Yes, I have to go and get ready for bed because I'm an old person inside.
You're not old. You're not old.
Technically not, but it feels that way. I'm just very tired. Thank you so much for having me on.
Of course.
It was so lovely to talk about The Flash and its final season and with you all.
Where can people find you online and your work?
Oh, they can find me on Twitter at MAEABDU, and they can find all my work currently at Screen Rant, where I review films and television shows.
And doing it marvelously.
Oh, and co-hosting the Ladies with Gumption podcast with Tatiana and Jessica. So if you are into listening to more DC TV stuff, come on over to Spotify and Apple Podcasts and wherever you can listen to podcasts.
Yeah, I will link to it in the show notes, but so people can go find it. It's an awesome podcast, and I mean, there's not a lot of DC ladies with Gumption left now, so I'm definitely curious about what the future is going to look like for you guys.
We are too.
Well, May, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and have a good one.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
You too.
Bye. Bye.
All right, let's do listener feedback. I will do tweets and Instagram comments, and it's very light, I will say. At Kenny Carley says, yeah, not a great episode of The Flash, season 9, episode 8. Episode 8, Part of Time. I have nothing to say about this episode either way. I felt like a later season's This Is Not Just Tomorrow time loop episode. I give it a 4 out of 10. Hopefully episode 9 in a few weeks will be better. And then on Facebook and Instagram, from John Patrick Van Pal says, happy Easter to everyone at the Flash podcast. Happy Easter. Yeah, because I hate Easter, so I've just blocked it out of my head. But happy Easter to you too. I didn't find this week's episode of the Flash that good. One, it felt like the time villain kept on repeating the same scene over and over again. Second, when Barry was asking for help with this time villain, where was Joe, Barr, Nora, Wallace, Cisco Remote, and other friends of the Flash? Well, they couldn't reach out to them because they were stuck. They had no reception, so they wouldn't. And also because Barry gave everyone the day off, they didn't know that they were trapped. So that kind of explains it. Third, I hope when the show returns for their final 5 episodes, I hope it's a little more entertaining. Talk to you guys on April 26th and look forward to participating on the Flash podcast through Facebook Live on April 27th. Happy to everyone on the Flash podcast. Well, happy to you too. From John Wesley Shipp Jr., new listener, I think. Hand raising emoji, heart emoji.
Heart emoji back at you, John Wesley.
Yeah. For people listening in the chat, that is the real John Wesley Shipp. He actually left a comment on our Instagram post about this.
Aww.
We love Daddy Flash. From Arrow_OT_Olicity says, 2 episodes ago, Super Lowe's has 1 series regular not in the episode. This week it had 2 not in the episode. The Flash would benefit from that, but apparently it's not true. I know. Dan Nicolette had an ironclad contract, which good for her, Chester Allegra, who I don't hate, but they didn't need to be in the episode at all. You could have shoved in Cecile at the end of Keon's storyline for her obligatory. Are you okay? Let me intrude on your feelings. Weekly segment. But no, Keon was relegated to off-screenville, which would have been the B story in my opinion. As for the A spots, those 4 other characters were unnecessary if West Allen was in a room they couldn't escape. Would have been a much better story akin to the amazing Arrow episode underneath, a battle episode over 30 minutes of Felicity by themselves. I'm not a West Allen fan, but I would like to see that type of story with them.
I think one thing... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to say that I think that's fair.
Yeah, I was just gonna. I think one thing to note that we didn't mention is that in addition to Susan Walters possibly not being available for the scene, is that Danielle Pannenbecker would have also been prepping for the episode she's directing at this time, which is probably another reason why we did not get an on-screen scene with her and Carla on this episode.
Well, then they could have just written her out altogether.
No, I'm not saying it was the best solution. I'm just saying that's why we did not see it on screen.
At Xfrost IBS Exa says another boring episode. Emoji. She gives.
No.
Not Lindsay 08 says I gave the episode 7 out of 10. It was a cute episode. I really love the Barry Iris moments. Iris is so hilarious. Iris is hilarious. She is she's hilarious. She is a moment. She is iconic, as we say it. Now let's do some emails. And I actually need to run to the bathroom. I can't hold them. So you guys,
Thank
go
you for sharing. All right, Libby. Hi, Flash Podcast. This episode was a breath of fresh air and so fun to watch. The scenario was outlandish, but Grant and Candace sold every minute with their comedic timing, great performances, and amazing chemistry. I love that they didn't take themselves too seriously. They were able to lean into the fun and embrace the latest outlandish circumstances they found themselves in. I enjoyed seeing Barry as the boss and owner of Star Labs, considering how this would all look to outsiders. When Lady Kronos didn't know what a breaker box was, I knew she was the culprit and we didn't need to flash back to it later. Thank you, Libby. I kind of like this, that this was because of a heist gone wrong and she accidentally caused this. An aside, why did the actual electrical inspector have an eye patch? Also, my dad's birthday is April 5th, so that was cool. Oh, happy birthday. Anyway, it was lovely to see Barry and Iris figuring out a problem together and showing why they're such a great couple. They're supportive, communicate openly, make each other feel loved, and have a strong friendship that underpins it all. The show is at its best when it remembers this. Not when it's keeping them apart or writing Barry as someone who wouldn't care his wife was lost in the still force. Exactly. The show has missed so many opportunities over the years to show who Barry and Iris are as a couple. And longtime friends. So I'm happy we got an episode packed with great moments. If only they'd introduced Iris' pregnancy earlier so we could see more of their excitement, anxiety, and all the feels that come with being parents. Surprisingly, I liked Allegra and Chester this episode. The scene with Cecile walking in was a bit too reminiscent of Joe in 304, but the situation felt true to the characters. They finally articulated and explored Allegra's very valid trust issues. I don't know why Nash was mentioned, but she has gone through a lot. Cecile was actually written well and gave good advice. Lastly, it was odd that Carla didn't care that Caitlin was kind of dead, but also kind of in front of her with amnesia. It makes more sense for her to feel conflicted about losing Caitlin than Mark, especially since Frost died and Caitlin was erased from her own body. Also, can Keown stop saying how old she is? It's very creepy because she's clearly a grown woman and not a baby. Also, clearly she has some of Caitlin still in her because she just invited herself to dinner. Anyway, next episode looks so exciting.
I didn't think about that.
But I'm worried the story will be rushed. I would rather have one less interlude, aka Allegra and the Seal, and have more time for the crisis type story. We'll have to wait and see.
And from Electra, I almost said Allegra. Electra.
Look who's bad with names now.
Okay, Electra and Allegra are a lot closer than Breeze and Jenna. But she says, "Hey, Flash Podcast team, how are you? Here are my thoughts on this week's episode. Never knew museums had weapons vaults. Perhaps they should have moved those weapons somewhere else, like Argus, perhaps. The mold inspector checked in with security. Since when does Star Labs have security?" That is a great point.
Did they actually say that?
Yeah, they said, "Oh, they were checked in with security." Who is working their security?
Who the F is working security?
I want a standalone episode about this poor security officer who has apparently been working at Star Labs all these years. Disappointed Vecna didn't appear when that grandfather clock started chiming, and now I feel like singing a hit 80s song. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna try to sing. I don't know what tune this is, but that radiation inspector sure knew a lot about time travel. I don't know what song that is.
I don't think that is a song.
Well, I didn't know if it was like a pun on a song. Anyway, she said, "I really couldn't care less about the Chilegra drama. It just wasted screen time. I loved West Out." Oh, I'm so dumb. The 80s song because of the Vecna thing. I'm sorry, Electro. Please forgive me. It's very late where I am. That radiation inspector sure knew a lot about time travel. I really couldn't care less about the Chilegra drama. It just wasted screen time. I loved Wes Allen's little talk in Speed Lab. Mr. and Mrs. Flash are the best team. Thanks for reading.
I think you pissed off Miss Electra in the chat, Breeze. Don't you dare, Breeze.
I had the doc up. I didn't see the comments in the chat.
She says, "Keep running up that hill."
I know. I feel like I'm falling down that hill right now.
Did you not watch Stranger Things? She asked.
I did. I have seen all 4 seasons. I just with the bullets the way they were, I got confused. So now we all understand the reference.
Well, let's go through some quick live comments. I don't know what this is. Craig goes, "I just need a new episode of Ghostmaker and Justice to You." Oh, that's cute. That's cute. Electric goes, "They deleted that steamy toast scene." Oh wow. Sci-Fi Gene goes, "Maybe the reason why the electrician had an iPad is because we're going to see that character again as a secret villain. We don't have don't wish for things like that. We don't have time." Sci-Fi Gene goes, I think a museum with weapons should only display props of the weapons. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. My guy goes, "We need proof that Bear and I could see the child."
Are there truthers out there who don't think Nora is really their baby?
Let's see. We read most of these comments, so I guess we're done.
Farewell.
Oh, Toddy got real excited.
I have to be up in London time for a Star Wars celebration. So.
Oh.
Wait, are you in London?
No, I'm not in London, but I have to be available for when news comes out.
Okay, I was like, I thought you were like, wait, where did Toddy have
made
time?
it to London? Yes.
Well, if you were in London, you would just be going.
Bingle bongle dingle dangle, yickety doo, yickety da, ping pong, lippy tappy toota.
That is exactly what I would do if I was in England.
Here's the real Britishness. So.
Tatiana is amazing.
So true. That is me.
That's just what all British people say.
Exactly. That's the thing all over England.
Good morning to the top of Tatiana is amazing.
Obviously.
Good night, sweet child. Good night,
to you.
Why are you mocking me?
I'm not mocking you. What do you mean?
It sounds like you're mocking me.
Okay. I'm mocking you, mocking British people.
No, I'm trying. That was me trying to do a British accent. I wasn't trying to mock them.
All right.
All right. Well, Toddy, where can people find you on social media and all your other projects?
They can find me at Marcella's Ear on the Twitters, on the Instagram. They can go to Screen Rant and see some interviews or, maybe some random PR articles. And they can also, as Mae pointed out earlier, go visit Ladies with Gumption podcast, where we talk about ladies who have gumption and the men who are mediocre. What is that face?
Not all of us are mediocre.
Did I say all men are mediocre? I said we talk about the men who are mediocre.
here's one decent man who's not.
How are you doing, Tatiana?
I am doing great. Exactly, a fine man.
He's the greatest man in the universe. So.
In a meritocracy, he would be the king.
Breeze Riley, Miss Breeze Riley, because I know what your name is. What do you do on social media, and what projects do you do that you would like to promote?
You can follow me on social media at Breeze Riley. I've been very unproductive lately, but you can also find my stuff on Telltale TV, Multiverse of Color, DC Studios podcast, and everyone watch the Barbie movie trailer and see it in theaters July 21st.
But I feel like you have been tweeting. Like
it does look iconic.
Like I feel like you have been tweeting.
I have not been writing.
Okay.
I tweet more than enough.
Well, one thing you can do is you can update your Twitter bio. Because you said you were multiple color. I'm like, I don't believe you. I need proof. Like if Nora is Bear and Iris' real child, or are they actually pregnant? You can find me at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Vero, something. All backed. I'm a senior writer at screenrun.com, and so check out all my work there. I'm the editor of Multiverse of Color, and Endless Multiverse. I'm one of the hosts of Endless Multiverse, and we'll be live tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern on Chainsaw React's YouTube channel. But and Lacy, you can find her at Lacy MB. Now, before we go into the plugs, so next week we're likely going to take a break. I might be back with someone else, but the final week before the hiatus ends on Thursday, April 18th. No, not April. April 20th. Sorry. We're gonna do our final special edition episode that I think many of you are going to tune into, and it might be in the form of a call-in show where you guys can come on and chat with us about the Flash. There will be rules. There will be rules in the video description once that we get ready for that show. But we would like to, for our final special edition, we would like to talk to you guys live here on the Flash podcast for a couple of minutes. So stay tuned for that. I think that's going to be a very fun episode. I've made a very pretty thumbnail. I'm very proud of it. So my only clue is West Allen. So there you go. But with that said, let's do the plug and then we'll get the hell out of here.
To find exclusive content and new episodes from the Flash Podcast, visit theflashpodcast.com. There you'll also find the latest info about the Flash TV show, movie, and comics.
TFP never strays far, so please find the Flash Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram if you should ever need us. And we need you to send us listener feedback on any of those platforms after each episode of The Flash. You can send your feels sporadically or wait for the graphic that appears every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, begging you to leave us your comments so we know you love us. XOXO, Gossip Flash.
Make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing to the Flash Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and anywhere else you listen to your podcasts. Want to support the Flash Podcast? Leave a review and 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, which helps more Apple Podcast users find the show.
Enjoy what we're doing? Then you should check out the entire DCTV Podcast Network at dctvpodcast.com, where we have amazing shows for The Flash, Superman Lois, all the ongoing and upcoming DC shows on HBO Max, the upcoming DC Studios movies, The Sandman, as well as DCTV After Dark and lots of other fantastic podcasts, all available at dctvpodcast.com. You can follow the network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram simply at DCTV Podcast. Last but not least, be sure to subscribe to the network's mega feed on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and everywhere else you listen to podcasts.
DCTV Podcast has its own TeePublic store where you can get all sorts of fabulous Arrowverse and DCTV merchandise to broadcast your fandom in the real world. Click on the link in the show notes to start shopping and help support the network so we can keep making all these great shows. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/DCTV Podcasts and ring the notification bell for up-to-the-minute news about live broadcasts, exclusive interviews, special clips, and lots more.
And because we can never get enough of your beautiful words, you can also email The Flash Podcast at theflashpodcast@gmail.com anytime you want. Use it for longer listener feedback, questions about The Flash and DCTV, miscellaneous thoughts, or fanfic recommendations. We read every email, so don't worry, no Flash fan left behind.
And that's going to do it for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thank you so much to the lovely Mae for joining us. And guys, we'll be back in a few weeks. And then the final episodes of The Flash. There are things that they have not shown y'all in the marketing that I think y'all will be excited for. So you are going to want to tune in for these final 5 episodes. But until next time, I'm Andy B.
I'm Tatiana.
And I'm Breeze.
And we'll see you next time on the Flash Podcast.